Hi and welcome back to Word Magic. Today I'm going to be talking about some of my planners and show you them actually that I've talked about in the past few videos. And I'm going to be talking about a couple of my favorite tarot decks, and I'll show you those. And I'm going to show you a layout that I really love to use for when I'm looking at what's coming in a new cycle of my life. So if you'll stick around, and if you will subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be wonderful. Like this video if you like it after you've seen it. And hit the ringer bell down there so you get notifications on when I put out a new video. And we'll get started here in a moment. I'm going to give you a quick introduction to me here, in case you are not that familiar with who I am. I'm Yasmine Galenorn. I'm a New York Times, USA Today, and Publishers Weekly bestselling author of over 65 books. And I write urban fantasy and paranormal romance. I've got over 23 years business and publishing experience in the publishing business. 20 of it that I spent with trad publishers, mainly in New York. And the past 3 have been in indie, and I have entered my 4th year of indie publishing, and I am very happy, yay, confetti and all that. So that's just a little bit about who I am. I'm also a shamanic witch. I've been in the craft for over 39 years, since I was 19. And I have read tarot since I was 20. So I talk about those things. I talk about the law of attraction, and I talk about writing, other things like that. So we'll get busy here today. So this is Kaylee from a different point of view, and she's standing on my planner that I want to show you. Thank you, Kaylee, if you could move. Okay, this is my work planner, and I'm not going to show you all of the stuff in it, obviously, because there are some secret projects I don't want you to know about yet, and that I just don't feel like talking about yet. But I like this binder because it opens fairly flat, and it's soft. It's a soft binding. It's actually, I believe, a daytimer binder, but I don't use it for daytimer anymore. Kaylee, I need you to move, please. Yeah, I know you're trying to protect her. I know you're trying to protect me. So anyway, follow your joy. Now, some of these printouts come from Sarah Cannon's Heart Breathings planner, and others come from other planner printables that I have bought. I have made a couple of them my own, myself, too. C.S. Lewis. There are far and better things ahead than any we leave behind, which I do believe. Now, I have a section in here that I made for my projects, and I'm not going to show you here because there's a lot of private information in here. But I have a laminator, and I love my laminator, so I just print out pictures and I laminate them. So we're going to skip over that. And this is for promotion and administration. And basically I do quarterly printouts. I've got 3 months at a time. And I write down all the promotions and ads that I'm doing at that point there. Now, I do quarterly, plan out quarterly, because it is much easier to follow and to adjust as I need than if I planned out a year at a time. Now, I do have long-range plans for the year. That's what this is here, which I'm not going to show you because there are some, again, things on there I don't want you to see yet. But it's much easier to adjust if you just print out 3 months at a time and go from there and use a yearly overall schedule as a guideline. It's not set in stone. So let's go to June, because we're just starting June. I just finished Witching Hour, so I haven't started a new project yet, which the next one will be Witching Bones. But here is a word count printable I made myself. And you can see we've got the date. I write the month here. We've got the date, how much I have due that day in terms of word count, how much I have written. So each day I put in there how much I've written, the total amount that I've written on the book, and then the name of the project. And this keeps me on my toes a bit, because if I somehow suddenly find too many days that are blank that weren't planned out, then I know I'm in trouble or I have a problem. So I'm not going to show, well, yeah, that's all right. I will be working on Witching Bones next. So this is my monthly schedule. And I write about 3,500 words a day easily. So that is my target rate for the work days of the month. I've left the weekends free. I always work on the weekends, but those kind of catch up in case I miss a day because of a reaction or something, because of my condition. And there are also admin days, and like newsletter day went out yesterday. I didn't have it written down yet, but I will put that in retroactively. But so I've made it a target of 3,500 words a day for Witching Bones, because I know I can do that, and it's not hard to catch up if I miss, 500 words here or there. I'm going to be plotting out several books on the 7th, and you'll notice that a few days I have free here, because, and I'm only writing 500 words a day on those 2 days on a project, but I need a little time after my last book. So yeah, I'm giving myself a few days. I will start in on Witching Bones. I find that I do not work well if I take too long a break between books. I need to remain consistent. It keeps everything in my mind. It keeps everything in churning. And because I write series, things move along. And so since I'm writing another Raven book, I'm not giving too much time between the last Raven book and the current Raven book. And so I've got my month. Then each week, this is how my weekly layouts look. And I use a vertical triple layout. And what I do is I will go through here today, actually, and I will write down in each upper box how many words I'm expected to write and on what project. And in this box, I put what I expect to be doing on my blog, or like this video, or special things like that. And this bottom one is for promotion. So that is, do I need to start up an ad on a certain day? Do I have an ad running on a certain day? Do I have a newsletter swap with another author that day? Am I going to be, like, I'll be doing a podcast in July. Am I going to be doing a podcast or something that day? So let's go down here. I try to fill in this, my to-dos for the month that don't necessarily fit in these categories, but that need to get done. And this down here is if I need to remember something special on that day. Again, if it's a to-do thing that has to be done on a certain day, but it doesn't fit in one of these categories, which basically is writing, blogging, video, vlogging, and then promotion. So that is how my work planner goes. I do this each week. You'll notice I haven't, decorated up these pages very much yet for later on. It's because each week I love sitting and just putting my stickers on, turning up the magic. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. I'm reading upside down here, so. And this says, the world is yours. And this says, choose your hopes, not your fears. So I like little motivational stickers. And like during autumn, I use a lot of pumpkins and autumn leaves and stuff to decorate this. So this is my work planner. And at the end of June, probably about the early last week in June, I will print out everything I need for the third quarter, because we're going into July and through July, August, September, which is quarter 3, and I will need to get the third quarter all done for that and all ready for the next phase in the year. It's hard to believe, isn't it? I mean, we are through June. Oh, well, no, we are through May, into June, and summer solstice is coming up, and that means we are almost at the waning half of the year. And it's amazing to me. So this is the planner I use for day-to-day activities. It's Tools for Wisdom, and I absolutely love this. Each month, thank you, Kaylee, walking through again. Very nice, very, very good girl. Come on, the people see your pretty fur. So one thing I love about this is, after the month, Kaylee, you need to get down. Excuse me. After the month, it has monthly priorities, master list, essential goals for the month of June. And I haven't filled these out yet, obviously, because honestly, there are private things that, I'm not going to show to the public, but I will fill these out later today after I finish here with the video. And then June starts up, Saturday and Sunday. But here's what the weekly spread looks like. And you can see I have taken little round stickers, black stickers, and round silver stickers. And I either cut them in half, for like this will be, it's the waxing crescent. This is the new moon, which is tomorrow. Yay! And so I put those on the days to remind myself of the moon phases, because being a shamanic witch and someone who pays attention to astrology, that matters to me. For example, full moon is on the 17th. And I go to a website, Gifford Observatory, to get my actual times and dates, because they'll give it in Pacific Standard Time. Because the full moon and new moon, they may fall on different days depending on whether you're in the East Coast or West Coast. So yeah, so I love this planner. This is the second year I've used it. I used to use a day timer, and I had never used it right. I could never manage to remember to use it. This I fill out every week. I use regularly. I like, it has the time, so I can block out a time for writing, like say from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. or 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. And basically I look at that and go, okay, I'm busy during that time. And then I can also put doctor appointments. Down here, it says priorities and secondary. On these 3 lines, I tend to put the work that I'm doing that day, say 3,500 words on Witching Bone, and I need to get such and such uploaded. And then down here, I usually list if Andrea is coming today. She comes Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if Andrea is coming here and the day, say the housekeeper is here, or the day we're maybe having some work done on the house or something. And down here, I usually use for stickers. that appeal to me. So this is my daily daily planner. I have recently become an Erin Condren follower and affiliate, by the way, and I loved this spiral journal so much that I had two personalized, one for Raven series and one for the Wild Hunt, and I keep notes in these. I love these stretchy bands too. So I'm not going to show you the notes because I don't want you seeing it, but here's what the pages look like. And they give you a side thing of bullet list here and then place to write in notes. And then the other page is just a full page. But I love these, and I'm working on notes for Raven and the Wild Hunt here. These are not in place of my series Bible. Hi, Kaylee. And once again, we have Kaylee, who likes being the star of the show, apparently. So, as I said, these are not in place of my series Bible. But they're for when I'm watching TV or out in the car or something and I just want to jot down a thought. And I'm like, oh, what about this? Let's jot it down and see where it becomes. So these are just thought process journals. And I also got these recently. Again, office supplies. I am an office supply junkie. And this is Erin Condren. It says, Kaylee, move. You'll have to pardon my Kaylee. I should take her out of the room, but she so doesn't want to go be locked out of my office right now, and I hate just, making her upset. Leave the iPad alone. So this is to turn to do into ta-da. And it's a very simple to-do list. And the light is really shining. There we go. I find I'm using these a lot because they're simple, and when it's a tear-off sheet like this, I don't feel guilty about just scribbling things on it and then ripping it off. I usually use steno books. I'm one of the old-fashioned people who love steno books, and I buy them by the dozen because I go through them so much. But these I use, I'll pull out one now and then and use it because to me they're a bit special. I got this one printed. It's a dot grid. I love dot grid. I love being able to think outside the box, think outside the lines, so to speak, on this. So I got that personalized, and if I can believe it, I can achieve it. And this is another to-do list sort of pad. As I said, I got these from Erin Condren. If you decide you want to order something from Erin Condren and you haven't before, if you use my affiliate link, I believe that, it can help me out, and I think you get a little percentage off. I'm not sure. I'd have to check again. But my affiliate link is down in the notes right down at the bottom. Oh, and I will show you what these are. I love these. These are sticky pads. They're like Post-it notes. Only they're lined and they're big. And I find them very helpful to stick inside binders if I've got a longer note that I need to jot down. Or on, say, one of my reverse outlines where I'm jotting down the notes from the chapter I just wrote. And it's like, if I find that I need to go back and add something to that chapter, I can jot down a bunch of notes on here about what I need to add and then just stick it on the page with that chapter on it and draw a line so that I know that it's there. So that's a fun thing too. And they're Eagle Divider notes, and I got that off Amazon actually. So those are a few fun things. And I'm not going to open this one up because all of what's in here is personal, because this is my tarot planner, and I will show you a couple things in it. It's another happy planner. I love this just bright polka dot happy looking folder. And this is, she walked in moon dust and stars were sprinkled on her hair. And that to me just speaks of magic. So I use this happy planner to log my tarot readings in. And I try to do 3 cards a week to represent each week. I found it works better for me than a card a day. So each week I pull 3 cards and do a reading for the week. So that's what I use for my tarot readings. Now, as I said, I love blank books. I love blank journals. And this is one I just recently bought. This is by the woman. A couple of weeks ago, I did a video where I talked about 2 new decks I bought from Raven Phelan. And she also did this journal, this blank journal, Seek Writing and Creativity Journal. Now, I haven't used it yet, but I need to find something special to use it because look at some of these illustrations. I mean, it's incredibly beautiful. And it just, I saw this and I couldn't resist it. It's like, I don't know what I will use it for yet, but this is just incredibly beautiful. And I bought this off Amazon. Snow leopard, love snow leopards. So yeah, this, I have so many blank journals I haven't even started yet, or that I've started and moved on to something else. But I need to think of something special for this. And I was thinking of just starting up a regular journal again. I used to journal all the time. And I have many, many journals from my past for this, simply because it is so beautiful. But it's one of those I'm almost afraid to write in because it's so pretty. I don't want to ruin it, you know. But I will use it. I will find a use for it. So I'm showing you 2 of my favorite decks today. And then I'll show you a sample layout with a different deck. It's a layout that I developed off of another layout years ago. But this is my favorite deck. I've read with this deck since 1980. And it's the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck. The art was by a lady named Lady Frida Harris, I believe. Now, I'm not much of a follower of Crowley, but this deck spoke to me from the beginning. And it's very complex. It doesn't read reversed. I love the artwork. It's incredibly complex, and the meanings have multi-layers. I mean, it's not just a simple, oh, don't do this, don't do that. This means you're sad, this means you're happy. These cards go into depth, and it can take some time learning to read this deck because it is so complex. But I absolutely love it, and if you have stayed away from it just because you've heard, Crowley was kind of a pervert or something, I encourage you to take a second look at it. It is a beautiful deck, complex meanings, and I actually have found it the deck I go back to again and again, always. Even though I like other decks, I have like 40 some decks, this is my favorite. So I highly recommend this deck. Now, another deck that I absolutely love, and I think I love it so much because it was based off of the Crowley deck. I mean, it's pretty obvious when you get into the readings and stuff, but it has a different feel to it. And so I use it at different times than I use the Crowley deck. This is the Rohrig deck. It was originally a German deck, and it does come in German, and I think a couple other languages, but the sad thing is it's out of print at this moment, as far as I know. And the last time I needed to buy a new deck, I ended up spending $150 on eBay to get a new deck that someone actually had. And I was more than willing to spend it because This is my other deck of passion. I love this deck. I love the artwork. Be aware there is a bunch of nudity in here, which I'm not going to show you because this is YouTube. But the drawings, the artwork is brilliant and beautiful. And there are so many different layers, again, to this deck, just like there are the Thoth deck. If you read the Thoth deck, you can read this deck. If you've read this deck, you can read the Thoth deck. Now I'm going to do a sample layout here for you. I'm using the Greenwich deck by Anne Mora, which is a lovely deck, and I like it because the cards are smaller and they'll fit in my space for this layout. So yeah, I'm going to lay out the cards and show you how to read this layout that I do. Okay, so this spread, I originally learned a 7-card spread similar to this, and I wanted to take it further. So I shifted some of the meanings and I added several cards, and here's what I came up with. So the first card is down here. It starts down here and it is the 4 of Chalices. And this card represents the lessons you're just coming out of, where you have just come out of in the cycle that you're in your life. And it is what you have just learned. This card represents the energy that the universe is bringing into you at this time. And this card is the 2 of Wands at this point. It's the energy that will be playing on you and on your life for the next however long this new cycle takes. And this card is the lessons you need to learn out of this cycle. The 9 of Pentacles here. So then we come to this card. The Battle Wagon is in position 4, and it is what you are doing right as you go into this cycle, and what you have been doing right over the past cycle. This is the card that represents what you need to be aware of, or what you might have forgotten, or what you've overlooked. And it's something to be aware of during the coming cycle. And this card is the very next step you need to take before this card happens. So this is the next step you need to take, card 6. Card 7, the next big event that is going to happen in this cycle of your life and what it surrounds. Card 8 is how to approach this event. And if it's a card that can be a warning of be careful of doing this, or if it's more of a positive bet, it can be, okay, here's the best way to handle this. This is the outcome for this event or this cycle. And these 2 are advice cards to remember as you go along. So in this reading, I would read this for someone. Say I was reading this for myself, which I'm not necessarily, but if I was. Okay, the 4 of Chalices. I have just completed something, which is true. I've just completed a book. I've just completed something. I have finished up a project. I'm looking at what's to come, and I'm thinking over what I've done. And this is just a very, very quick reading here. If I were reading for someone, it would be much more in depth than this. What the universe is bringing in. The 2 of Wands. Energy, which can be a power struggle. It can be finding your balance of creative forces in yourself. Finding the balance of the creative force in your life with authority from other people, things like that. And the lessons I would need to learn. How to accept growth. How to encourage growth on a material level. How to encourage my work to grow. The 9 of Pentacles is a card of gain. It's a card of material joy and happiness and of abundance. And in the lessons position, that can mean you need to learn how to let abundance come into your life, how to encourage it to come into your life, how to focus on it. What I'm doing right, the 7 of the major arcana, the battle wagon, driven focus, definitely keep my focus on my goals and keep going. And you know, it's not necessarily prepare for battle, but it's like the chariot, it's a drive and a being propelled toward doing something, toward a goal. What I might be overlooking, the crone, and she stands beside the lion here. Might be overlooking wisdom from my elders. I might, you know, well, I'm one of the elders now, but there are always things we can learn from others. And so from people who've been in, say, our business that we're in longer than we have, or people who have a special knowledge of a part of the business that we work in, or a part of the career we're in that we don't yet have. So this would be a warning not to overlook that, not to overlook learning what other people think about what you're doing, who might have something to add, who might be able to give you some insight on it. The next step, the 10 of Athames, which this is kind of, would be like the 10 of Swords. And 10 of Swords is often, I call it the inner demons card, because a lot of times the inner demons card is our fears coming out. And it's learning how to handle our fears and not let them paralyze us. So the next step would be examine what fears that I would have left in terms of what I'm doing, and learn how to move beyond those fears. Now the next big event, the 10 of Chalices, abundance and joy, something wonderful. And actually, you know, it's funny because I just laid these cards out randomly, but you know, the next big event, I just had my one of my best months in indie. Actually 2 of them. And to me, that tells me I'm learning how to do this right, that I'm learning how to navigate indie publishing in a way that is profitable for me and yet provides wonderful services for my readers, wonderful books for them to read. So the next big event would be celebrating that and acknowledging that, and not just chalking it up to a fluke or anything. How to approach that, nature, which in a lot of cards, this is the Devil card, but to me, this is the side that wants to go play when we need to be working. It's that whispering inside going, come on, let's go do something else. Oh, we don't really have to do this today. Do I really want to make a video today? Do I really want to write today? And the best way to handle this is, since this is a card of celebration and acknowledgement, maybe it is time to play for a little bit. I just finished a book. It's time to take a couple of days and just enjoy myself, and then get back to it. Because you can never let play just be everything. The outcome, harvest, seeing an abundance coming into your life and realizing that the goals that you set for yourself, you know, learning to navigate your career and what you're doing, and getting rid of your fears, and acknowledging your successes, and listening to those who may have useful information, all leads to a joyful harvest and abundance, and a culmination for this cycle of actually seeing the fruits of your labors pan out. Advice, the star. The star is that aha moment. It's that, oh, I got it. You know, it's when you're sitting there and all of a sudden, out of the blue, it's like, aha, I had an idea. Oh, this is wonderful. And then the other advice card, the High Priest, which in some decks would be the Hierophant, or the Teacher card. And so this is, again, it harkens back to look to the wisdom of your elders. Go talk to people who know this business or whatever business you're in better than you, and Ask if they can see anything that can make you even expand further, can expand your knowledge base further. And don't forget, when you do go ask for advice, be willing to give advice afterwards. You know, that's why I'm doing this YouTube channel. I'm talking about writing, I'm talking about magic, I'm talking about the law of attraction. And this is one of my ways of giving back, because I can't do it on an individual basis. So this allows me to reach more of my readers at a time. It allows me to reach more people, and something that I'm going to say will actually touch someone in some manner. And so that is how I would read this. So yes, we have card 1, where you're coming out of. Card 2, the energy the universe is bringing in. Card 3, the lessons you are to learn. Card 4, what you're doing right. Card 5, what you may be overlooking and need to pay attention to. Card 6, your next step. Card 7, the next big event that's going to happen in your life. Card 8, advice on how to handle the next big event. Card 9 is the outcome for this cycle. Cards 10 and 11, advice. So there's your layout for today. So that's a wrap for today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. It always helps on the analytics. And I will be back next week. If you have questions, comments, leave them below. I will see if I can answer them briefly on the comment thread. I will, and if I can't, I will write them down for another video. And I'll be back next week, and I hope you will too. So have a wonderful week and enjoy this June weather that we're having. It's actually warm here, a bit too warm for me to go outside. But we'll see you next week.